Welcome to the Pit Crew. I'm Camille, your attending, and I have my residents with me.
I'm Mal.
And I'm Robert.
And this week we are covering the Pit Season 2, Episode 15, which is the 9 p.m. hour and the season finale. We are retitling this episode to be Tincture of Time. And Robert is going to present our patient this week. Go ahead, Robert.
Patient presents with trying to fix their relationship with themselves by adopting a baby, question mark?
Question mark? Potentially question mark?
God, you cannot save your failing relationship with a baby, especially if that relationship is with yourself. My God. I have thoughts, and we'll get into it.
It's almost like we're a podcast where we share our thoughts.
What? That's crazy. Also, I was just looking at them in this episode, like all tired and like their hair all askew. And I was like, that's how I feel. That's how I feel after 15 weeks trying to like cover this podcast. Like, I'm so tired.
We have not missed a single week.
I know.
We did it, you guys.
For us.
Which leads nicely into us doing our little, our little cleanup, our little like, hey, what's going to happen in the future?
We are still here. It almost sounded like you were going to be like, what's going to happen in the future? Well, unfortunately, no, I'm kidding.
We're putting Robert down, and then Camille and I are continuing.
It's like what Robbie says, who knows what the future holds.
Oh,
so many people left to love you or whatever. There's so many people in the future to love you. I can't remember what exactly he says.
I do know what's going to happen for at least the next few weeks. We are taking our own little sabbatical from PITT content because we are so burnt out, which is so funny because like we do this for fun. And also we spend hours, I cannot stress enough, hours every week prepping, recording, editing, making content to promote, engaging on socials, all of that stuff, like hours every week. And so we do need a little bit of a break from that. But we are taking that time. This week, I have been working with a few different people trying to schedule some time for them to come and talk to us, some medical providers, things like that, to come and chat with us about related things and topics that maybe people want to hear about. If you guys have anything you would like more information on and want me to try to see if I can get someone to come talk to us about, please let us know. You can email us at pittcrewpodcast@gmail.com. But we're going to be taking about 3 weeks off. We will be continuing with our heated rivalry content as scheduled. So, because we already have that stuff prepared. So that is going weekly after this week. We will be going bi-weekly after we return from our break for the pit. But we'll still be here. You can still email us. Also, that gives you guys time to email us your thoughts on season 2, any theories, any questions, things like that. And then we're going to prepare and do a mailbag episode. So we'll be talking with you guys about, whatever the heck you think is going on.
And because we got some very good emails throughout the season. So we'll be visiting some of those and, just sharing all of y'all's wonderful thoughts with a wider audience. So,
and your insight.
Yes, because there are a lot of people who know a lot about more specific subjects than we do.
And I'm not going to confirm or deny who we've shot our shot with to try and get emails, but like, hey, if you see people from the show posting stuff, you should be like, oh my God, you should go on this awesome podcast called The Pit Crew.
You should talk to The Pit Crew, everyone. Come on.
So, I've loved the comments that we get. We've had many comments and reviews, and people are like, they have no idea what they're talking about related to medical stuff, but it's great.
And that's the vibe we're going for, to be quite honest. So, thank you for recognizing that. That is what makes this podcast funny, I think.
Exactly.
We have no qualifications to be here. We're just assholes with microphones.
Well, shall we dive into this finale? Did it feel like a finale to you guys? To me, it felt, and I say this with love, underwhelming. Like the whole season kind of went under the radar, and I'm a little bit confused by that because like I said previously, I know that it seems like they're trying to break the mold, but at the same time I was like, okay, but like there's a big swing,
Miss?
I don't know that it was a total miss, but it wasn't like a home run, We
hit like a triple. We're not quite at the home run yet.
My hot take is, as a whole, this season was stronger. I think the end of season 1 is, like, you're not going to top that, like, with the shooting and all the drama of that. But I think, like, having just rewatched all of season 1, the beginning is so slow.
Yeah, the beginning of season 1.
Like, that one guy takes so many episodes to die. And I'm just like, okay. Which, like, it's so moving and so wonderful, but I'm like, this could have happened in, like, 2 episodes max.
Well, also, I think the best way that I can, like, analogize, is that the word? Like, to create an analogy?
Sure.
The best image I can come up with is, like, this season, to me, kind of felt like playing Wii Sports, but your remote isn't calibrated right. So you're kind of like, you know, your little guy is like, you know? And, like,
Yeah.
I loved this season. I really did. But also, you know,
Yeah.
like, I do agree with you. This season moved so much faster. However, I feel like we haven't hit the perfect stride yet. If we could somehow take season 1 and 2 and make him have a baby, Jane Doe, it would be
Yes.
great, you know? So maybe we'll get that from season 3.
Some of the patients this season we sort of lost. And there was a lot of confusion between, like, people online being like, wait, so what happened to this patient? What happened to this patient? It was like, well, they got treated and discharged. We just, like, never saw that
They were
part,
yeeted.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The bed ejected
there's-
them out of the
Yeet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what the happy medium is, but I really enjoyed this season, and I'm not going to say like, oh, I was disappointed, because I really enjoyed it. But some of that, I think, comes from getting to talk to you guys about it as we're doing it. So
I was talking to my boyfriend about this season overall, and he's like, I think this was a more realistic and like down to earth, and it kind of hurts in a way for a bunch of healthcare workers. So he's like, last season was like the drama, focusing a lot on the patients, I think, and he's like, this season focused a lot on the doctors and nurses.
Oh, to get the civvies in. Season 1 was for the civvies. Season 2 was kind of more for addressing. Yeah, I could kind of see that. Yeah.
If you work in the medical field and you watch the second season of The Pitt, you know, do you agree? We should just start talking about what happens in this season finale.
The voiceover intro is the same line that we ended with last week, which I thought was
Yes.
interesting because I don't know that we've ever done that.
Baron, is this you?
Yeah, we've picked up like after, but we repeated it this time. It was also a little bit of a jump scare because it happened at the same time as the title card. So I wasn't prepared to hear a voice yet. And I was like, ah! And it is her. She is the patient. She started having seizures after a bad case of viral meningitis when she was 5 years old. I'm sitting here going, why are you fucking telling him this? He has been awful to you all day. And she's like, I respect your opinion. And I'm like, why?
why?
Like, also, she's very quickly proven to have misplaced her
Yeah.
trust.
This very quickly, it's like, oh, you didn't go to the right person for this.
No.
Queen.
No. Because last episode was written by Noah Wiley, a lot of the people, like, they're making memes that are like, oh, why is there this line about Duke being like, how am I going to piss with my 5-pound dick, written by Noah Wiley? Oh, which for me, I'm like, damn, everyone found that line so cringe. And I'm like, yeah, it's cringe. You know what's more cringe? The fucking motorcycle line where he's like, husky with the right amount of bitch, whatever the fuck he said. But also, you know, Dr. Robbie, I trust you, written by Noah Wiley.
Yeah, that's true.
Robert. And so she's tried multiple seizure meds and nobody's noticed before.
They just think she's thoughtful.
Yeah, they think she's thoughtful. And she was cleared for driving and to be an attending after having a laser ablation to her left temporal lobe 12 years ago. A laser ablation basically is a treatment to remove tumors and other lesions from your brain. And between that and the Keppra, which is the medication she takes, she's been seizure-free for well over a year until today, and she's had 2 today.
What's the, like, because I know if you have seizures, there's like a certain amount of time that you have to wait before driving. Is it 6 months?
The required waiting period to drive after a seizure is typically 3 to 12 months of being seizure-free, depending on state law, with 6 months being common.
So her options now are to up her Keppra or try another newer seizure med. And if those don't work, she could do a temporal lobectomy.
Which sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it could impair her speech. It treats drug-resistant epilepsy by reducing or eliminating seizures. They're like, let me just take this little chunk. This is the seizure chunk.
But it also could also be the talking chunk, so like...
Exactly.
She could also get a neuromodulation device, which would detect and start procedures automatically.
Yeah, I'm like, that sounds like the option. Like that sounds like what we have to go with.
I mean, it kind of sounds like I, as a layman, would compare it to like a pacemaker, right? Which automatically detects something wrong and is like, wait a minute, let me help, you know? Robbie tells her that she needs to disclose this to the hospital, and she says she will. She has a plan. But it just like pisses me off so bad that she's like, I need a second opinion, and shares this very sensitive data with him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't offer any support. He doesn't offer any advice. Again, he's just like a dog with a bone. Like now that he's found a flaw of hers that he can wave around and prove to everybody, he's a dog with a bone.
I'm like, she's saying these are the options. Like, she wants somebody to help her weigh these options, it seems like. And you are not doing that. You're like, you have to disclose this, which she knows.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she wasn't planning on doing it and she really should, but like, that's not what she came to you for. Like, you can tell her she needs to disclose it, but then you also should give her the advice that she's looking for.
So Olive walks in and tells Robbie that Dana is in peds and needs him there. I actually thought this was a cop-out because he makes eye contact with Dana through the door earlier in the scene. And then Dana walks by and looks in. And then like less than a minute later, someone's like, Dana needs you. And I'm like,
Oh, interesting. I did not catch any of that.
So I just thought it was like she was trying to like quote unquote rescue him or something, because it ends up being that everything is fine, right?
Meanwhile, Dana should have been rescuing Dr. Alashimi.
Oh, I thought she spiked a fever, but it was just like the other chart.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense, Dana. That's not even a good
Mhm.
lie. I knew Dana was lying, but I didn't know that they were in cahoots.
Yeah, it seemed it was cahoots for sure.
Dana has been doing a lot of cahooting this season.
Hoot hoot.
Yeah.
She's having a cahoot. And Vivi also comes in to tell Robbie that there's a pregnant woman with a headache on her way to the ED. And he's like, find Abbott or a night shift resident. Again, because Robbie is there, they're going to talk to him because he is the chief attending. So they're going to defer to him automatically, even though he's not really running this shift anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, let this man step back, please.
Which is why he can't get out. Really, that and because he doesn't try to leave. Langdon is taking his drug test, and this lab tech is like, empty your pockets, let me see your hands, pull out your pockets so that he can see that there's nothing in his pockets, whatever. I do not like the way that this man behaves and looks at Langdon. I had a bunch of feelings about this because I want to preface this with saying that like this man knows nothing about what Langdon did. Nothing. All he knows is that Langdon is in the physician's health program or whatever it's called. I can't remember. And so like he has no idea what Langdon has done. But he's looking at him like he's some fucking criminal that he's got to be super suspicious of. And I'm like, stop treating recovering addicts and people in active addiction as criminals. This is part of the stigma that also leads to them not being able to get help.
There's a way that you can make it, like, because it's like, okay, I can see that this guy is taking this very seriously. And, like, this is a thing that, like, you do have to be very strict on because people will try to cheat a drug test. Like, I've never even had to take, like, a peeing drug test, but I know ways to cheat a drug test just because, like, I've heard them. I'm like, I understand why you're doing all these things, but also, like, there is a way to take it seriously, but also, like, not be a jerk about it. And this guy is towing that line.
Yeah, like, why are you acting like a fucking cop? You're a lab tech. You're not a cop. Calm down.
Camille, I know this isn't that kind of show, but were you waiting with bated breath to see if we were going to see the Schlongden?
Actually, no, I was not. I was like, I did have a moment where I was like, they're not gonna do that. I was like, there's no fucking way they're gonna do that.
I also had that moment. I was like, I know we can have penises on this show, but surely Patrick Ball is not about to just whip it out.
We're going to see his Patrick balls.
I mean, it could have been like a prosthetic, but I had a moment where I was like, surely not. They're not going to do that.
The other thing that I find funny about this scene is, to like break the tension and also kind of be like, fuck you. Langdon's like, so you come here often? And it's just so funny because this lab tech is like hard, like looking at the Schlongden so fucking intensely.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta make sure he's not swapping the piss out.
You never know. He might be grabbing your dick and getting your piss. You gotta watch out.
He might have a tube running up his leg with, like, clean pee.
You know those, like, 90s commercials of, like, you wouldn't download a movie or whatever the fuck? You wouldn't download someone's piss.
You wouldn't download drug-free piss.
Oh, that's going in the description. I can't forget that. When you get to this part of the edit, make sure you put that in Discord so I don't forget. Pirated piss. Oh, God. So Robbie walks into PITT, but it was a false alarm. Dana thought that baby Jane Doe had a fever, but it was a mistake because of the analog charting. And I'm like,
again, not even a good lie.
Like, oh no, the paper that I held against her forehead said that she had a fever. What?
Yeah.
Dana asked Robbie if he knows anybody who's considering a kinship adoption because doctors and nurses qualify. And Robbie's like, nope. Kinship adoption refers to the legal adoption process of a child by grandparents, aunts, uncles, godparents, older siblings, all that good stuff. But there's also the opportunity for others to whom the children and parents would ascribe like a family relationship. And some jurisdictions recognize fictive kin, which are those that are not biologically related but have a strong relationship with the child. So like a physician.
It seems interesting to be like, you have a strong relationship with this child that you found in the bathroom this morning.
Does she have any kin? What about any fictional kin? Anybody feel like a mom today?
What about some fanfiction?
Oh, God.
God, Robert.
I'm gonna fanfic kill myself.
Jar. $5.
Yeah. Robbie asked Dana if the nursing staff can keep an eye on Dr. Al before she leaves. And when she's like, yeah, why? He straight up lies. And he's like, oh, I just think that she's tired and I don't want her to make mistakes. Which, like, also doesn't make Robbie look any better. Oh, I think this woman might be sweepy-eepy and I don't want her to fuck up on the job.
It's also funny the way that, like, he gets these pieces of information about his coworkers, like knowing that Langdon was stealing drugs, knowing that she's had 2 seizures today, and he's very tight-lipped about it. Like, he's not spreading that information around, which, like, I do respect him for. Like, I appreciate that he's not gossiping and he's not like, hey, Dana, Dr. Al has had 2 seizures today. Because, like he's gonna let her disclose her own relationship. I mean, he does, like, give the ultimatum, but, like, kind of the same with Langdon. He was like, you have to go get help. Otherwise...
He's like, but me, I do what the fuck I want.
Yeah, but me,
fuckers.
I can do whatever I want.
Even with Robbie lying and being like, oh, she's tired, or she's gonna make a mistake. I'm like, Robbie, learn your own, fake fucking advice. Physician, heal thyself.
I can't believe we have entered a day and age in which Robert is quoting the Bible by way of Dana Evans. We have this little exchange with Robbie's gonna go get some fresh air, and Dana's like, oh, have some for me. And he says your lungs wouldn't know what to do with it.
Crazy.
Rude.
It's part of their playful banter. She's like, screw you. And he's like, in front of the baby. Nice.
Yeah.
So recently, Noah Wiley said in an interview or an article or whatever.
It was Paley Fest, I think.
It was right. It was at Paley Fest. Somebody had asked him about a night shift season or more night shift. And he's like, I don't think you guys want or need night shift as much as you think you do. Where he's like, oh, the whole appeal of night shift is that they're this more well put together cast of characters or whatever. And I'm like, fuck that. No, me seeing how well put together and efficient they are, I want to see that.
I need that. That would be like crack cocaine.
This little huddle that Abbott has with the night shift, it just makes me want more. We deal with the weirdest and the wildest because, let's all say it together, we are the weirdest and wildest of them all. I love them.
Well, also, he calls them the nightcrawlers, which I thought was very funny.
I'm like, this is so cringe, and also I am obsessed with it, and I want to be a nightcrawler.
Because, it's so cringe, but it's that kind of cringe where you walk away and you look at your coworkers and you kind of have a little giggle because it's like, what are you gonna do?
You're like, yeah, we are the fucking nightcrawlers.
Yeah, we're fucking stupid.
Gang, I'm locking in my horny thought. We've made it.
Oh my god, okay.
My horny thought is I want to see exact twice.
Night. The 2 2 minutes of the podcast. It's just beep, 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 beep. So Abbott walks up to Robbie and he reminds him, hey, you're supposed to be leaving. And then basically is just like, I have concerns. I have some thoughts that I'm going to share. And he confronts him about, making comments about potentially not coming back. And Robbie's like, yeah, who knows what the future holds? And Abbott says, see, now that's the kind of shit that makes people worry.
Yeah.
I love how blunt he got in this episode because he tried it the nice way. And he's still very nice because you know that he means this well. There's nothing mean-spirited about it, but he's just like, hey, fuck you, buddy. Like, don't put this shit on me.
We gotta stop dancing around it. Also, we skipped Santos's little computer nap. She's so sleepy.
Yeah, she's so sleepy. And she wants to finish her charting and get out of there. I love the fact that Abbott says, oh, did I wake you? And she goes, I was just thinking.
Yeah, I was just thinking funny. How much I want to be in bed right now. Yeah, for sure.
Digby's missing.
Again.
Yeah.
Has he gone back to see Louie? No. I was like, where in the world is Digby San Diego?
Haha.
Where did he go?
Probably still in Pittsburgh. Hasn't been that long.
And Abbott and Robbie go outside. Duke has done what he can to fix Robbie's bike. Abbott kind of gives him a look. Also, like, Robbie does not introduce the two of them, like, at all.
Yeah,
so
interesting.
Abbott's just kind of like, okay, cool.
Your friend's fixing your bike?
Yeah.
The old man Yao is getting complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Abbott says that when people worry about Robbie, then he worries about Robbie, and he doesn't like to worry about things.
I love Abbott so much. He's so, like, no nonsense, but also he cares.
And Robbie doesn't want to have this conversation, especially not from someone who, quote, spends his free time getting shot at.
This is so shitty of Robbie to say, but also him being like, hooah, had me fucking chortling.
Robbie's like, if you want to take me down, I'm taking everyone down with me.
He's like, if you don't want me to die, I will rile you up until you push me off that roof, bitch. Watch.
What can I say to Abbott to get him to push me off the roof?
He actually wrote that in his journal before he left home that morning. So Judith Lestrade is coming in. She's 36 weeks pregnant, and she has 2 days of a headache. The pain has elevated to a 10 out of 10, and she has blurred vision at this point. And Robbie said that she has pitting edema and severe preeclampsia.
I did know what this was from actually several fan fictions I have read.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh, okay. Preeclampsia, for sure.
Preeclampsia is characterized by persistent high blood pressure and other problems in people who are pregnant or who have recently given birth. It happens in about 5 to 8% of pregnancies. If you have it once, that increases your chances of having it again. Complications can include premature birth, fluid in the lungs, bleeding problems, and liver or kidney damage. There's also a risk of seizure, stroke, and death for either mother or baby, or both. And treatment, if necessary, is based on how far along the pregnancy is.
Yeah. There's actually a very good heated rivalry fanfiction in which this is a major plot point. I will not be saying more at this time.
Fuck? Now I have high blood pressure.
Great fanfic, would recommend. DM me if you want to know.
Judith is not doing any prenatal care. She's doing something called a wild pregnancy. A wild pregnancy just means that she wants to forego all medical care when it comes to pregnancy and birth. As somebody who wanted to be a midwife, I'm just like, yikes, 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 ew, yikes. Like, what?
Well, and the fact that she says later, like, she doesn't have a midwife or a doula or anything, like, I'm like, oh my God.
Girl.
You're true, like, you are raw dogging this pregnancy the same way you raw dog the sex to, like, get pregnant, I guess. But I'm like, oh my God. And also, like, there's no partner with her or anything. So I'm like, are you just planning to give birth to this baby at home?
She wasn't
by
like,
yourself?
Can you call this person? Can you call my mom? Nobody. She never mentioned anybody. Part of me almost wondered if this is kind of a scenario in which she doesn't have resources. And so she's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to call this. We're going to go wild pregnancy. And I'm just going to claim it as being that. And then I'm just going to run with it because prenatal care is expensive.
Yeah.
It's very expensive. Giving birth is wildly expensive.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about pregnancy and birth, very much so, and about the intersectionality of feminism and modern medicine and how you marry those things, right? How you marry understanding that you are a woman. And yes, she says, women have been giving birth to babies for thousands of years, which is very, very true. I 100%, that's one of the first things I've ever said when I talk about, childbirth, but that is part of why I started nursing school and wanted to be a midwife, is because I wanted to marry those things. I wanted to marry natural birth and science and help people understand that you don't have to reject one to have the other.
Right.
So we'll talk more about that later, but Javati is charting about the nun who had gonorrhea in the eye, and Whitaker offers to split half a monster with her.
Ding, ding, ding. Another sponsor for the pit, a fucking monster. Thank you, Garen Howell, for showing the monster label front and center to the camera. We love Monster.
No, I was like, of course he would be a monster guy, except I feel like he would be into like white Monster.
Yeah, that was my big complaint, where I'm like, straight up full sugar Monster? You fucking fiend.
Yeah, but you guys also like diet sodas because Mal loves her aspartame. I went to Whataburger the other day and I ordered a Coke. And as I was driving away, I realized that it was very clearly Diet Coke that they gave me. I popped a Yui and I went back. And I was like, I don't want a Diet Coke. Please give me a Coke.
Diet soda.
And they were like, oops. Ugh, disgusting.
Diet Dr. Pepper.
I had to get that taste. No.
Diet Dr. Pepper, I'm kissing you on the mouth with tongue. I fucking love Diet Dr. Pepper.
There is no Diet Dr. Pepper in the show.
Dr. Ellis and Diet Dr. Pepper have gotta be my two favorite doctors.
Where is Dr. Pepper? Paging Dr. Pepper?
It's like the meme that I saw. Someone posted a picture of like a Dr. Pepper can and was like, meeting with my primary care physician.
Why do people call Diet Coke a fridge cig? I mean, that's the funniest thing, but I'm also just like, okay, y'all need to calm down.
It's like your hit. I don't know.
People who can like drink diet sodas or like sodas from different places and tell you which is which, that's insane. If you're drinking that much, you have got to stop.
I mean, they do taste different, but not enough that like I could blindly tell you what's
If I give you 7 different Diet Cokes though, and you can tell me accurately on the first guess each one of them, there's a problem there. Like, that's not normal. Drink more water, please.
At one point in my life, I could probably identify a Whataburger Diet Dr. Pepper with no ice blindfolded. And we're not gonna talk about that.
Of course, for people with ADHD, actually caffeine can make you sleepy, but also, or just like calm you down, which is interesting.
I'm pretty sure there's some pseudoscience to it too. I've read some things about it. All I know is if I drink a coffee, I drink an energy drink, I drink a full sugar caffeine soda, I don't, there's that whole fucking mythos about, if you give your kids Coke and they have ADHD, they're going to bounce around the walls. Like, no, I was pretty chill.
Yeah, I was just telling someone the other day, I could have like a full cup of coffee and then go to sleep. Like, it does not, I just drink coffee for like the taste. I don't drink coffee in the morning because it wakes me up. I just like the taste of it. And it's like a routine thing.
I mostly just need my daily hit of caffeine so I don't get a headache, because I have made myself addicted. But I don't get enough sleep for caffeine to like actually work, I don't think, so.
Okay, Mel, so this lovely lab tech over here needs to follow you to the bathroom while you piss in a cup.
And there will be a lot of caffeine in that piss. Is that something that comes up in your pee? I don't even know.
Imagine if we were medical professionals. This podcast would be so different.
Better, one might say.
No, it would be so boring. Are you kidding me? We'd have no fun. Whitaker still has not found his badge, and he asks her, Javati, if she's figured out what she's going to go into. And Javati is like, I don't want to be here. Like, 100% don't want to be here. She says she's seriously considering law school, which is surprising to him. And then she starts like fucking dragging everybody down with her, which is kind of epic. I mean, it's nice.
It's funny, but also it gets fun because she's like, Langdon has a drug addiction. McKay had the ankle monitor. Robbie has PTSD or worse. Mel. And it's like, what did you mean by Mel?
I know. I'm like, okay, what, autism? Come on.
She had that before she came to the pit. She'll continue to have it after. Like, put some respect in my girl's name. At least say what you mean.
I didn't realize Javati's biggest op was not Robbie. It was Mel, apparently. Like, holy shit.
For being autistic. She's
Mel
like,
is
man. Oh my God. And Whitaker doesn't even want to know what she thinks of him. And the face she makes. She just makes the most brilliant faces. Shabana Aziz, I can't with you.
No, her faces are so good.
They're so good. And like I'm prepared for the fact that eventually she is going to leave the show because she has chosen this path or has started to realize this is what she wants. So I know that she will not be staying. And they've talked a lot about that, especially with Supriya leaving. They've talked about the fact that like more characters are going to leave too. And so I'm trying to like emotionally prepare myself for that. But goddamn, I'm going to miss those faces. When she does leave, I'm going to miss those goofy little faces.
I mean, we also can't know for sure that no one else is leaving for season 3.
So Whitaker recommends that she works in mental health. And she's like, oh my God, you're not as stupid as you look. Like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. You might be onto something, white boy.
And I was like, yeah, she makes mental health, like self-care TikToks. And
Yeah.
if you think about it, she is the character who's interacted the most with Dr. Jefferson all season.
That's true.
So that wasn't for nothing that her patient was the one that needed Dr. Jefferson. Just saying. Now, we are back with Judith. So they've put on the CTG, which is cardiotocography. It measures the baby's heart rate and it checks for contractions.
I'm such a fan of the way that this is just like printing out paper. I was like, what year was this machine made?
Now, the fetal heart rate is totally fine. Cruz, no, I'm going to let you read that because what?
I can't even defend this. My note just says Cruz and Abbott are running this pregnant lady like a well-oiled machine. I have nothing to defend myself with, honest to God.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on.
I support women, I promise.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
just
like
stupid
machines.
when I run my note.
They need oil changes and, you know.
I'm just stupid when I was trying to, I think I was trying to write a note being like, oh, Cruz and Abbott got this. And instead, misogyny. I apologize.
They're running this situation
They are running a
like
train
a
on
well-oiled
this woman.
machine.
Wait a
Doesn't have
minute.
to be the woman. It's just like they're running this trauma room like a well-oiled machine. Like it just the wording
Oh, that would
is
have been
funny.
better. Oh, there
Shocker.
we go.
Robert forgot how to use an idiom. Robert fumbled an idiom. So the way that Robbie is gazing out into Central, did you guys think anything deeper was happening? Or like what? Did you guys have a moment where you were like, sometimes I watch things and I'm like, what am I supposed to be taking from this? And I have to like pause and think.
Yeah, because it's like it was included for a reason. What was that reason?
Was it that he's gonna miss the hubbub of it all? And he's kind of thinking like, my time is about to end here?
This is the last time I'm going to be here for a while. I mean, probably. That's what I would be doing.
We have a couple more of these shots throughout the the episode, and I have thoughts about those, but I'll wait till we get there. So she does have preeclampsia, surprise. It's not really a thing that anybody knows, like why it happens. We already talked about, the symptoms are headaches, protein in the urine, swollen ankles, stuff like that. The pitting edema is when he presses on her ankle and it makes a pit. So
yeah, not great and horrifying to look at.
I love this little bit here. She reminds him that she's doing a wild pregnancy. She doesn't want any drugs or anything. And Robbie says, then why are you here? And I think because of the way that he has behaved all season, it's easy to take this question as antagonistic. But I don't think that it is. I think it's a very legitimate question so that you can get to the heart of the issue with your patient is, then why are you here? What do you want me to do for you if you do not want medicine? Why are you here? Get down to the business of like, okay, then what do you want me to do for you? Because I work in medicine. And if you don't want medicine, what do you want me to do?
See, I found that to be a very powerful question. Like, okay, what do you want me to do about that? Because a lot of the people that I work very closely with at work will come to me and will just like start saying things. And I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do for you right now? And sometimes it's just that like, I don't know. I just wanted to tell someone that I have a headache. And I'm like, okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that you have a headache.
I'm like, did you need Advil? Do you want water?
And like, we can problem solve from there.
Mm-hmm. I'm very much like a problem solver. So I don't do very well when someone is like crashing out about things going on because I'm like, oh, well, you can do this. And then they're like, no, I can't do that because this. And I'm like, okay, do you want a fucking answer or not? Like what? I'm kind of bad at that. I really sympathized with her crying when she says that she just wants to get rid of her headache.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about how like pregnant women are so systemically exploited, and women in general, we all just kind of like, I'm speaking for all women if you couldn't tell. We just kind of want to like take back power wherever we can, especially power over our own autonomy and our bodies. We're in less and less control every goddamn day. And so I can absolutely understand the desire to be like, fuck the system, fuck the patriarchy, I'm doing this myself. But also to get to a point where you're in so much pain and you're just like, you just desperately want some help. And also think about the fact that like there was one female doctor in there.
Very true.
There was an article I saw very recently, and it was about women who are in the hospital, and then suddenly, like, a nurse comes in and is like, cover up. There's a judge, and they bring in like an iPad or a computer, and they're suddenly in a court hearing that they didn't have any time to prepare for because the hospital has decided to like induce or do a C-section and the patient doesn't want it. And so they bring in lawyers and a judge and all this shit.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah.
And force them. Yeah. And so I looked up, it was a ProPublica article, and we will link it in the show notes. So I'm going to read this passage from it. It says, mentally competent patients typically have the right to choose their medical care or refuse it. But there's one notable exception: pregnant patients. That inconsistency is particularly striking in Florida, a state that has pushed to expand medical freedom for those who wish to avoid vaccines or fluoridated water while constricting the rights of people in various stages of pregnancy. Quote, there aren't any other instances where you would invade the body of one person in order to save the life of another, end quote, said Lois Shepard, the bioethics expert at the University of Virginia School of Law. In Florida and many other states, court-ordered medical procedures are just one of the ways that pregnant patients' rights are restricted. The effort to chip away at those rights is rooted in the concept of fetal personhood, that a fetus has equal and, in some cases, more rights than the woman sustaining it. Now, I do want to be clear, I am not comparing that to what is happening on the PITT. It just reminded me of that because I don't think that what ends up happening is anyone forcing anything on her. They have a duty of care. They have to save her life.
Right.
It's not like they're forcing a C-section on her that she has like there's a difference here. But it made me think of that. I also think it's notable to point out that the women that they refer to in this article specifically are Black women.
Well, and I just think, like, if you can't force someone to become an organ donor after they are dead, like, you can't force someone to use their body to grow another person. Like, it's not ethical. Like, that woman is already a person, that fetus is not. Sorry.
If you go and read this article, you'll see there's more details about the woman saying she had been laboring for, I think it was 12 or 13 hours, and they wanted to do a C-section, and she said no because she had had C-sections with complications prior, and she was trying to avoid that. By the way, this woman herself was a birth doula, like by trade. And so wild that they would, anyway, but very convoluted, but also incredibly simple. And also they had explained the risks to her, but the risk, there was a 2% chance of the risk that they were presenting to her. And she said, listen, if it were more than that, if it were very serious, I would take, under advisement, I would work with you. But you're saying it's a 2% chance of this adverse thing happening, and now you're going to try to force me to have my baby in the way you want me to have him? Yeah. Anyway, please read that article. Very, haunting. Dana comes into the trauma room to inform Robbie that Duke is leaving, and Robbie asks Abbott if they've got it. And Abbott says he can do this with his eyes closed, and then he says, well, maybe one eye, and he winks. If I had another horny thought, I swear to God.
This is hot. Like, I was looking at this and I was like, oh?
You're like, that's a man.
That's a man.
Fuck Robbie.
What a man.
What a mighty good man. Mel is outside FaceTiming Becca. She finds out that she's at Adam's house instead of seeing the fireworks because they decided to watch Elf.
Shocker. Whoa. Who could have seen that coming?
Does somebody need a hug? And Mel asked Becca to have his parents call her because she's like, well, they should have asked my permission. And she's like, why? Becca's like, why? This is such a tough scene to watch, to be honest, because I love Mel so much, but I'm like, girl, please take a breath.
Well, and I think there's something to be said about, like, someone should know where you are, I think, when you are pretty much anywhere. Like, it makes me feel better when I go places that, like, my friends have my location. So, like, if something happened, they would at least know, like, where my phone is and where I probably am. And, like, if I was going on a date with, like, I don't think adults need to, like, check in all the time, but, like, it is beneficial to have someone, like, know where you are. So I think there is, like, a line, but I would imagine that, like, the home that she lives in is, like, knows where she is.
The
like, she's been
facility,
checked
exactly.
out,
She
yeah.
would have, yeah. She's been checked out.
Well, or
I'll
like
take this one. Sorry.
something. I don't know. I would assume that there's, like, some, like, someone knows where she is. It is okay. It is okay. And she does not have to check in with her sister about every little thing. And I would like to see Mel kind of grow in this realization more. Like, I think this is still a very new, like, realizing that your sister is a grown adult person when you've made your entire personality caring for her your entire life.
Did we find out this past week that season 3 takes place in November?
Yeah, if this is July, that's like 4 months away. So that'll be roughly when Robbie's supposed to be back, or at least a little after he came back.
Yeah,
and
it'll
it's
be
also,
about 4.5 months.
And it'll also be Thanksgiving time. Woo!
I will forget to say this if I don't say it now. Does anybody think that Robbie's going to swap his sabbatical for paternity leave?
Yes, and I hate it.
I had that thought. I was like, oh my God, he's going to take a break, but it's going to be paternity leave or like fostering.
No, the second he was talking in that ambulance bay about, like, I thought I would have kids by now, I was like, fuck, he's about to take home that baby. God damn it. And then I was like, do not solve this man's misogyny by giving him a daughter. I hate that. I hate that so bad. Anyway. This will continue. I'll bring this up again.
So Duke is leaving and he makes Robbie promise that he will come back. And in return, he will go to all of his appointments. But more than that, he makes Robbie come back and let me ride your bike. So it's like there's no tricking your way out of this. Like, that bike better come back in rideable condition. You know, don't fuck around on that bike.
Yeah.
Basically, he's like, you die, I die, bitch. So, and guys, we've been waiting for this since episode 1 of season 1. We have a dead body in chairs. Make sure nobody's gonna die out there.
Well, somebody did.
Well,
Whoops. And he's been there since 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm. He originally came in complaining about hemorrhoids and constipation, and then he died. No shit.
No shit.
how often does this happen, do we think?
I wouldn't think it's very often.
I want to say often enough that they took the time to make this a plot point in the, most accurate medical drama of all time that they like to promote themselves with. Because, like, Robbie gets cornered by a bunch of people and they're like, hey, so somebody died. And he's like, okay, let's all agree that he died, like, now.
Night shift problem. Yeah, no, this felt very shitty. I was like,
No, they just want to get the fuck out of there. They want to get out. I would also say, though, back on the topic of, like, how many people actually die in the waiting room, I would think that probably less frequently because you are surrounded by people.
Yeah.
Surely there is one good person in the waiting room who is going to say something is not right, especially when it's that full and people are sitting next to him.
Or because more often than not, when people die, they, all their muscles relax and they shit themselves. Some mean guy's going to be like, ew, this guy shit himself.
He's constipated, buddy.
Oh, right. So I guess there's no tell. Oh, wow.
Except for the fact that he dead ass looks dead ass.
Yeah, no, he really does. But I also, I think people tend to mind their own business. Like, I think, because I'm thinking about, all the crowded subway trains I've been on.
That's different.
But, well, I know, but, if I was sitting in a waiting room crowded like that, I would probably be on my phone, and I don't know that I would be looking at the people around me.
Yeah, but if you'd been there that long, your phone would be dead.
I pack a portable charger, bitch.
Okay. We go back to Judith. Her headache is still a 10 out of 10, so they're going to give her more fentanyl. I do want to remind everybody, somebody on Threads was like, there's fentanyl in an epidural. And somebody was like, yeah, no shit, it's perfectly safe. So this is your reminder. Fentanyl is perfectly safe when dosed properly, used short-term, prescribed via physician. Yes, even for pregnant people. I don't know why that word stood out so much to me in this scene because they use it constantly. And I do believe someone wrote in to tell us once that it has a shorter half-life. And so it's easier, like it's better in the ED. And so they do use it pretty frequently. Now, Nurse Garvin from OB is down with Judith now, and Cruz wants to do an ultrasound, but Judith doesn't want to do it because she says that an ultrasound can hurt the baby. I did not have a chance to look into this. I will say that ultrasounds, I've heard from someone that I'm very close to before that they were also very hesitant to have ultrasounds when they were newly pregnant, straight up refused them because they had read somewhere that like there was some sort of like a heating, something they had read was damaging to the baby.
I mean, my mom had ultrasounds when she was pregnant with me, and I am a perfectly normal person who has a perfectly normal amount of podcasts.
Hey, that's not a, yeah, I was going to say that's not a really great example.
I know that was the joke, Camille. Also, when he said, like, I'm going to check it out with ultrasound, I was like, Cruz and his ultrasounds, let's go. I love this guy.
The US in Cruz stands for ultrasound.
Yes. I also, Nurse Garvin from OB, icon. Love her as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving us so many great new characters in the last little bit of this season. Again, Noah Wiley, we want night shift. We really do. You can tell us we don't want it. We do.
We really do.
Here's what I'll say. I don't like the results that are popping up when I am trying to do research on this. I'm getting a lot of .coms and I'm getting a lot of seemingly politically motivated responses. So, if there's any physician or anyone who works in obstetrics or gynecology, you can let us know. You let us know, send us a resource or give us your expertise. I have never heard, other than from the occasional person who is not a medical professional, that an ultrasound could be harmful for a baby. So, perfectly normal. And also, it's not like you're sitting there with an ultrasound wand forever.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just assumed that was a thing that, like, everyone did when they were pregnant. Like, it's just kind of a, like, everybody's always sharing the little, like, ultrasound picture when they announce that they're pregnant. So, like, I've never even considered that, like, people would think it was dangerous. Huh.
Mm-hmm. Judith doesn't want doctors. She doesn't want the hospital. She doesn't want meds, for this delivery. She doesn't have a midwife. She doesn't have a birth doula. Again, she says, women have been having children on their own for thousands of years.
Not even all the way true, though. Like, there have been women who help other women have children for thousands of years. Like, you don't have to do it totally alone. Like, even if you're going without the medical care, like, the lack of midwife and doula is what really gets me. Because I'm like, okay, you can be so crunchy. You don't have to be stupid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because if you're alone, there is no one to call for help.
Right. And again, no partner, no parent with her, no friend. Like, she is alone. Was she just planning to do this alone?
I'm like, girl, don't call it a wild pregnancy. Call it a primal pregnancy at that point. Because what the fuck are you doing?
Abbott points out, to counter her, women have been giving birth alone for thousands of years. He's like, yeah, and for those thousands of years, the infant mortality rate was about 30%.
Yeah, that's why they had so many kids back in the day, because it was like, yes, some of them are gonna die.
Some of you may die, but that's a price I'm willing to pay.
Yeah, and I also was really struck by the patience when Nurse Garvin says, why no prenatal care? Like, she's had this conversation before, and I loved how patient she was. There was no judgment. It was just a, why not?
Well, and I'm sure some of the time the answer has been, it's too expensive.
It's too expensive. I didn't know. I didn't think I needed it, whatever. And then I'm just very passionate about if you want to have a natural birth, do it. More power to you. Please make sure you have everything, all your ducks in a row, right? Especially understand that your baby can come early. Understand that your plan is not going to stay your plan. It is going to change. Mm-hmm. I am a very big, you will hear, I could rant about this for a while. I do not like the way that hospitals treat birth. I don't like that it's a business, that they have to turn beds and get people out. And so if you're not laboring on their time frame, they want to speed it up. I don't like, oh, let's give Pitocin to speed this up. Oh, let's, do an epidural because she's in more pain now because we sped it up. Oh, let's give more Pitocin. Like just this back and forth, and then kind of like you've got baby in flux going, do I speed up or do I slow down? What's going on? And then they say, oh, the baby's in distress. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Like, So there are people who labor for days, and it's perfectly normal. My mom was pregnant with me for 42 weeks. Perfectly normal. Didn't induce. I just needed to cook a little longer. There are reasons why that could be a problem, and there are pregnancies in which it is totally normal and fine. That's why you have to have care established. You
Right.
have to have that established. That is the big established. Work with someone so that we know what your pregnancy is, so that we don't have to get 36 weeks of medical history from you. And on week 1, what did you feel? Week 2, how'd you feel? Like all of that. You need to establish prenatal care, no matter who that's with. Midwives are fan-fucking-tastic. There's a place here in Tennessee called The Farm where a lot of midwives were trained. That's where the midwife who caught me was trained. She's also incredibly intelligent, incredibly educated. She moved out to California. Shout out Claudia. But she's fantastic. I got to see her in 2020. No, it was like 2017, maybe 2018. I got to see her. And it was just like, oh my God, here's this woman that I have not seen since I was an infant. And she caught me.
Crazy.
Yeah. But midwives are fucking incredible, and a good midwife will hold your hand and help you understand when they need you to adapt. Now, things are going to change. I know we didn't want this to be the plan, but this is what we're going to do now. There's a fine line, and you have to find a provider who is going to walk that line with you, respect your wishes, and also give you the tough shit and tell you when the plan has to change. That's what I'm passionate about. And that's why I wanted to get into midwifery. But then I was like, oh my God, I hate science. So I didn't do it.
Not a woman in STEM.
I am. I work in tech.
No, because STEM stands for shenanigans, tomfoolery, escapades, and mischief.
I like how you redeemed that. All right, off my soapbox. And so they are at 37 weeks in the pregnancy. So at 37 weeks, the cure, quote unquote, for preeclampsia is let's give birth, baby. Let's have this baby. Let's get him out.
And because of how my brain works, and because I was the one doing the notes, a fun fact that I know is that there's no cure for ulcerative colitis until it gets really bad, in which case the cure is to remove the colon.
You just compared a baby to a poop?
Yes.
High blood pressure when you're pregnant. Okay, the cure is don't be pregnant anymore.
Oh my God.
Simple.
Robert, do you know?
I don't know anything.
I was going to say, I don't know if you've ever heard this, that when women talk about pushing, the way to know that you're pushing right is that it feels like you're pooping.
Yeah.
They're like, it feels like a poop. And a lot of women poop while they give birth.
Yeah.
And a good nurse will tell you that you didn't.
Pregnancy is like a horror show, just by the way.
Yeah. I'm like, who's the baby? The infant or the woman?
It's so fucking cool, but also it's like, God, what the fuck?
Now we move along to something incredibly funny. Shen and Ellis have to get Jasper, the dead man, out of chairs. And they go out there, and there's this patient, and he's like, is he dead? And they're like, no, absolutely not.
And then I love that the camera pans to the most, like, clearly dead man you've ever seen.
And then the guy's like, I don't know, he looks dead. And Shen is like, basically like, he has narcolepsy. How dare you? And then, Robert, this one's for you. They pick him up, and he farts as they lift him from the chair.
Yeah, release of gas.
There you go. Just a shit trail through the...
Well, no shit. It's like the concept of Shen and Ellis just like fucking weekend at Bernieing this body out of chairs is so fucking hilarious to me.
Like, oh, ha, 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 you can stand up. Come on, buddy. So Mel is outside. She's watching the fireworks from the ambulance bay, and Langdon walks out and asks her if she's seen Robbie. She says she hasn't. We find out she has already finished catching up on her charts.
But she's still here.
And I'm like, yeah, she finished catching up on her charts. I think she saw like 4 or 5 patients her entire shift, from what I remember.
Fair.
Unless there's a lot of off-screen patients that she dealt with. I swear I only saw Mel deal with like 4 or 5 patients this season.
She did have her deposition, though, so that interrupted her day. But she kind of is like, I realized she's just kind of hanging out because she doesn't have anything to do. There's no one to hang out with. She was planning on hanging out with Becca, and so second best thing is she's hanging out with her coworkers still at work. Oh, Mel.
No.
Mel is upset about Becca, and Langdon is comforting her.
I regret to inform the Kingdon shippers, because the internet was blowing up that because this scene had leaked, or at least like screenshots of this scene had leaked. There's no Kingdon happening. I'm sorry.
I don't understand how people can leak stuff like that, because in our experience this season, your full name, your IP address, everything is watermarked across the show as you're watching it. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and also, I would just never do that. Like, people got kind of mad at me because they were thinking I was going to post spoilers. And I was like, okay, calm down. I've literally seen every single episode this season early. I'm not going to spoil anything. I haven't in 14 weeks. I'm not going to suddenly spoil things for week 15. But I just wouldn't do that, because why would you? Just for clout?
Yeah, internet brownie points. That's all you get from leaking these scenes early. And also, congratulations.
And you can't even claim it.
Yeah, congratulations. HBO Max keeps track of this shit. And they'll be like, that guy leaked stuff. Ban him from screeners.
Mm-hmm.
Noah Wiley, shoot him.
You said, like, the Noah Wiley girlies are gonna pass away, which could mean anything. That could mean anything. And people were so mad at you online. I was like, guys, that's not even a spoiler. That's just like, Noah Wiley is there and something happens that people are going to have a reaction to. Like, that's...
You're implying that he survived. You're ruining it. I'm like, she didn't say that. Shut the fuck up.
Is that what we implied?
You just told us that Robbie is in episode 15. And I'm like, okay, mind you, episode 14 ends with him saying, Baran, is this you? Do you think right after the cameras cut, there was a bang? Like, what? What? You think he suddenly died? I'm like...
This ain't the end of Sopranos. Like, come on.
Yeah. Now... Mel and Langdon are conversing. They're still talking about, the days they've had. And he tells her about the closed cervical reduction that he did. And she asks him to show her how to do it sometime, which is, oh.
It's a little flirty.
And I'm sitting there being like, I hope you never have to use it, Mel. You're going to use it next season, aren't you?
Oh, God.
And he says, I could have paralyzed that guy. And she says, but you didn't. And so they're outside. I loved this scene. I thought it was really wonderful to get to see these two people who desperately need, like, the thing about Mel and Langdon is that when they are together, they always end up coming out of the situation with what they needed from each other. It doesn't go awry between the two of them. They're always on the same page.
Hmm.
And I really like it. And they watch the fireworks together from the ambulance bay.
She might not get to watch the fireworks with Becca, but she gets to watch them with Langdon. The Kingdon girlies are winning.
Listen,
Yes.
The Kingdon girlies aren't winning, but a different ship is super winning. We'll talk about that in a little
The
bit.
Kingantos.
Yes!
Kingatos.
Something LGBT is happening here, guys.
The Kingtos. We'll talk about that. We'll get there.
Now, Dana is still trying to get Baby Jane Doe adopted. Sorry, should we say it one more time for the season? Baby Jane Doe.
Baby Jane Doe.
Redemption, perhaps. Baby Jane Doe.
Doe. Doe runs away from you. That's what it is. It's like, Doe.
Robert's Baby Jane Doe gets me every time.
So Mohan is like, yeah, no, that's not happening. And she says, she's talking about, she needs to find a job, all this stuff. And she lifts up the microphone for the dictation. And as she's making eye contact with Dana, is charting. And it's the funniest fucking thing. I was tickled by that. I thought that was hilarious. McKay also says no. Santos can't because she's babysitting Whitaker.
Okay, but is she? Because it seems like he's taking care of Robbie's place.
I mean, also, Santos isn't fucking ready for a kid.
No. But yeah, so also, I'm like, okay, it's not Langdon who is assigning Whitaker his role. Everybody else is. but he took it out on Langdon last episode.
I think mainly it was because it was like, oh, my buddy Santos hates you, so I'm going to hate on you too. And then it's like, oh, wait, actually, you're not a terrible guy. So whatever. He's developing his own opinions now.
Now, Dana also can't take Baby Jane Doe because her husband would be pissed. Her husband, Benji, who has a child's name. Sorry, we talked about that last season. The fuck? A grown man named Benji? Weird. Robbie is watching them treat Judith from Central. And there's like muffled voices. He's on the outside. And I just want to share my very first thought here. It felt like an out-of-body experience. Like Robbie was like above watching it. Like the idea of like when a character dies and they're still there, but they can't do anything and they're just watching everything happening.
When Robbie dies and is floating above the hospital.
Sitting in his chair with the beer like that one guy from, I forgot the name of the show.
Frank.
Yeah, that guy.
We've had this conversation.
So many times. Now, but it really did like symbolize to me like how Robbie would be if he were to die, is that he would just be this like the ghost of the pit. Is that he would just like desperate to help, to get involved, but just be separated and muffled. Like there's a veil between. And I was really struck by that. I wonder if anybody else had that feeling. But Judith has something called HELP syndrome. It's hemolytic anemia, elevated liver enzymes, and low platelets. And she starts seizing. The night shift is trying to break this seizure. Robbie walks past Peds and goes to talk to Whitaker and Javati. As he was walking past Peds, though, my note, I am ashamed of this. I did put in my notes, bringing a whole new meaning to daddy that like we haven't seen in the pit before.
For sure.
We've been like talking about like daddy, but now we've got daddy. And he wants to talk to Javati. She is gearing up for a fight because their last interaction was not good. And he tells her he thinks her social media posts are great as long as she's not violating HIPAA, and waits until she's done charting.
And she's like, I'm not.
Yeah, she's like, as soon as he turns away, she's like, fuck you. But no, I really liked the like redemption of this moment where he's like, he is starting to go like, okay, I need to find these people. I need to fix things. He's starting to repair the bridges that he's tried to burn all day. And she follows after him and tells him that she's considering emergency psychiatry.
And his first reaction is very cool, which I like.
And she asks if he thinks she could do it. And I really think that goes to show that, like, when he's an absolute fucking terror, his people do still trust and respect him. They're like, I can get, like, Robbie out, hopefully. So let me just try. And he tells her that he thinks she can do anything she puts her mind to, which is very nice. And Judith is still seizing, so they're going to paralyze her and intubate.
They love to intubate. They've been trying to intubate this woman.
And Abbott's like, prep her, but hold off. And the Cruz is like, we're intubating. Let's intubate. And it's like, buddy, calm down. We'll intubate if we have to.
Oops.
They're just like,
this bitch.
Okay, did you see, there was a Jeopardy category in which Noah Wiley asked the questions. And one of them was like, the answer was intubation, and they didn't get it right. And I was like, guys, that's their favorite thing to do on the pit. They love to intubate.
The reason they point out that the paralytics are not going to stop the seizure, right? They're just going to stop the convulsions. So it's like a false flag of like, don't think that this means that the seizure has stopped just because she stops convulsing. It's not what it means. It just means that we've stopped her body from thrashing around. She could still be seizing, and that can still fry her brain. So we have to keep an eye on that.
Woohoo!
And once she's flat on her back, they need to displace the uterus to the left, and that is to take pressure off of the vena cava, which is that very big, important vein.
Yes.
I think it's down by your hips. I think it's like that. Not the artery, but I don't know. I'm sorry, okay? Anatomy and physiology is the reason that I dropped out of nursing school. I hated that class so much. So it's a big, important vein, right? And the baby, for anyone who doesn't know, babies will put pressure on things. Your leg can go numb because the baby is pressing against a vein, or the baby's pressed against your bladder and it makes you have to pee, or like the baby's punching you in the organs and it hurts, okay? Yeah, So shit happens. So they're like, we gotta get this, hold this baby up out of the way. Robbie's looking for Dr. Al, but no one really knows where she is. And Mohan says, with the way this day is going, should probably quit, which I thought was really sad foreshadowing, because it's not that Mohan is going to quit, but she is leaving.
Yeah.
And that's very sad. The little rubber glove slingshot, Robbie is like, oh no, it's okay, I'll find her, don't page her. And he grabs a rubber glove, and I was like, what patient is he going to see? And then he takes it and flings it, snaps it at Santos's head.
Yeah, because she's sleeping.
And I'm like, it's cute, but damn, someone let my girl sleep.
Yeah. And also I'm like, that's a waste of a glove.
Morgan Stiles, the attorney, has come down. We are all done with depositions for the day. They want Mel to do another one. And Robbie's like, awesome, that's so great. I should probably be here when you tell her that. Hey, also, by the way, if I were to tell you about, or if a physician were to have concerns about another physician,
hypothetically,
and that health were to hypothetically affect a patient, hypothetically, how much of a HIPAA violation would that hypothetically be? Which is interesting because I'm like, but you're not her physician. So is that a HIPAA violation?
Either way, Morgan's answer is just simply, first, do no harm. And that's, I guess, supposed to be if you know something, say something.
Mm-hmm. And Mel comes in and they tell her, she's like, hey, Mel, can we talk? And she starts stimming immediately. She starts humming to herself.
Just the I was like, oh, poor baby.
I was like, she just had a moment with Langdon outside watching fireworks. Can you just let her have tonight?
Now you're ruining her day. Come on.
Mel, we're sorry to have to do this to you, but you have to go to deposition 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Judith is still seizing. Ellis and Shen have arrived to help. We cut back out. Mel is totally checked out. We get the nickname Melfeasance. So she's kind of fucked up about it. And Santos is like, fuck it. You want to go get a drink, sing karaoke?
Hell yeah. I am obsessed with this duo. I think I mentioned earlier this season having read one Mel Santos fanfic and enjoying it.
How many have you read in the past 24 hours?
None.
You got a hit of it and you were like, damn.
But I watched this episode 3 times, full disclosure. It's the most I've watched any episode before we've recorded.
I know, I was gonna say, damn, girl.
Yeah, I watched this episode several times, and so I did not have much fanfic reading opportunity last night, but that is what my weekend will consist of, so.
King Toast is alive and well.
If anyone has any recommendations for someone just getting into King Toast, I guess, sang, because they went to karaoke.
Sang, girl. No, my God. I will say though, okay, as much as I love this, I am personally pissed off that we are now 2 full seasons in and Santos still can't read a fucking room. Because when Mel says that she has to do another deposition, Santos says you must have really screwed up. And I'm like, okay, you've worked with her for 10 months now. You know that she is not going to take that well. Why would you say that?
Yeah, but also it's just her being an asshole in a friend way, TM, I don't know.
She's mean and she's prickly, and I love her so much. My wife is a bitch, and I love her so much.
Mel is like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'd like to go out and sing and drink. I usually hang out with my sister. And Santos immediately locks in on this. She's like, oh, bring her along. Can she drive? Santos, I love you so much. You're just looking to get drunk as fuck after the day you've had. And completely relatable. I've stopped drinking, really, except for the one time Camille made it to New York in which I had almost half a bottle of wine and then a third of an edible that fucked me up. But since I don't really drink anymore, I love being designated driver. I love making sure my friends get home safely. I love making, okay, this episode is coming out on Friday the 17th. I'm having a little birthday shindig in a bar. And I've told the people who are coming, hey, I'm staying late for karaoke. You don't have to stay late, but if you do, I'm driving you home.
And now you've got a fly-ass G-Wagon to do it with.
Yeah, Robert's got a Subaru now. It's great. I rode in it this weekend.
Yeah.
Does it smell nice?
It does, yes.
That new Subaru smell.
I really liked Santos calling it primal scream therapy. I thought that was mad funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, sometimes you need to let it out. You need to scream. Like, Scream from High School Musical 3, incredible karaoke song.
My personal gauge for my mental health is singing Bohemian Rhapsody and hearing how I sing I Wish I'd Never Been Born at All.
Jesus Christ.
Good gauge. We should have Michael Rabinovich sing Bohemian Rhapsody and see where he's at.
My mental health is so great that I told Mal and our friend in the car this past weekend that I'm like, oh, one of my fantasies, I'm fine, is that I want to save people from a burning building and then like die heroically or whatever. And the friend was like, it's your fantasy. You can survive. And I'm like, what's the fun in that?
Oh my God.
No, they
You're
also
like,
said it
one
exactly
of my
like that in the
fantasies,
car
I'm
as well.
fine.
The like, this is my fantasy. I'm fine. But I want to die. And I was like, dude, what?
What's the point of being a hero if I'm not willing to give the ultimate sacrifice? Anyway.
Judith, again, still seizing. Robbie comes in to help, and she goes into VFib, and they start a timer, basically, because the clock is quite literally ticking now. They have 4 minutes. Robbie and Abbott gown up. It's time to deliver the baby. They're going to do a C-section. They're going to try to save mom and baby. A couple more tallies for the boob tally. So 4 boobs.
Yay. They really saved all the boobs for the last couple episodes.
Yeah.
Save the boobs for last.
Save the best for last.
As save the breast for last.
Oh, that's a better joke. God damn it.
Camille's the most right. Camille's the funniest. Camille's the prettiest. Like, damn, we can't
Camille's
fucking
the most
win.
right.
I just fucking
Camille's the
said
loudest.
that.
And Camille never steals anyone's thoughts.
Yeah, that must be nice.
So, as soon as I realized they were going to deliver this baby, I was like, God damn it. The people in obstetrics and gynecology watching are going to be pissed. I don't know what it is. It's even on the pit. No matter what, anytime there's a birth, it's wrong. They fuck it up. Last time, when they had the birth, last season, people were like, okay, but you would not do that without an OB there. You just don't do that. Like, why would they do this? And so I just was like, oh, God damn it. Here we go again. We're calling in McKay as well. Now, Robert did help me with the notes this week. Robert, will you please read your next note?
Camille, you're writing the notes for this section because holy fucking damn, this looks super real and yuck, 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 ew, yuck.
So I did. They are cutting all the way from the xiphoid to the pubic bone, or the pubis. So obviously, pubis, you can kind of guess that's down by the pelvic bone, or the pubic bone. Sorry, not the pelvic bone. Down by the pubic bone. Now, the xiphoid is the little like nub where your ribs kind of go back. They tuck up in the middle. There's a little like nub right there. That's the xiphoid. And the reason that I know that word is because I had a foster kitten last year who had a floating xiphoid process. And we literally were sitting down to record an episode, and I picked her up, and I had never felt it before. It felt like one of her ribs was just like floating around, like poking out of her chest. Do you guys remember when I lifted her up and I was like, do you see this? And it looked like something was sticking out of her chest.
Yeah.
And I found out it was a birth defect. It's called a floating xiphoid process. And it's just like, it's like loose cartilage, and it was just like, woohoo, in her chest. So sometimes it would get turned around, and I would feel it poking out. Scared the shit out of me. It scared me so bad. She's fine. So they cut from the xiphoid to the pubis. I gasped because like that is a massive incision. And I started looking into like the different incisions used in C-sections. Now, a vertical incision is typically used in emergency scenarios because it's better access, and they're less concerned about visibility of the incision and the scarring afterwards, because it's an emergency. But like this was a massive incision, and I could not quite understand. I again, we're always on limited time when we're researching for these episodes, and we work full-time jobs, so I couldn't quite figure out why the incision was so massive. Also, I will say the amniotic fluid was so poorly edited in that I was like, what am I looking at right now?
Yeah, that was like, I was like, that's,
I was like, the budget's done? Like, it was that we couldn't do that?
Also, I did get quiet for a second there to figure out what the 4-minute point after she like goes into VFib or whatever. And the 4-minute point is when they like shock her and they're like, it looks like sinus, but they like don't have the carotid pulse. So it's like within 4 minutes, we do not save mom and baby. So
this baby is also breech. Ellis says this as she's pulling baby girl out, which breech means not in the right position for birth. So baby should be head down, facing towards mom's back. Anything different is breech. There are risks that come with that. Now, a really dangerous type of breech is feet first, right? Part of that signal, again, I think we talked about this last season, part of that signal for baby to breathe is those feet hitting the air. So if the feet come out first and baby goes to take a big old breath, one, there's not room for their lungs to expand. They're in the birth canal. And two, it's just a bunch of amniotic fluid. That ain't air. So I couldn't really tell what type of breech this baby was, though, just because of, like, the shot. Like, the angle of the shot and the amniotic fluid and all that, I really could not tell what we were looking at. Baby girl is blue. So blue. And they supplement her oxygen with something called blow-by, which is providing oxygen from, like, close to the nose and mouth, because you can't use like a nasal cannula or a mask because of the patient. So if it's like a really uncooperative patient, think like an infant who moves around a ton, they would just be knocking off the mask and whatever. So they do blow-by.
That makes sense. I guess I never really considered how you would go about doing that. Also, this baby is like very clearly not a real baby. It's giving like the green baby doll that they hold up in Wicked on stage. Like, the baby is green, and you're like, that is a baby doll that you have painted.
I really liked how Shin stays very chill, very calm, even though Nasli is clearly very anxious.
They do a very good job of staying very chill for the most part. I mean, Nasli is the most anxious one, and I also respect her.
She's an intern.
Yeah, I respect her ability to say, like, I don't know. Like, sometimes they ask her questions, and she's like, I'm not sure. Because, like, this is a very stressful situation.
Right. And twice they ask her questions and she gets the wrong answer. And we do kind of see in one of those moments, she has a moment of like, fuck, like, I got the wrong answer again.
Yeah.
But we don't really get to dive into that because that's not our shift. But we do kind of see we have the same dynamics in a way for the night shift. Now, they start talking about an APGAR score. APGAR it stands for appearance, pulse, grimace, activity, and respiration. So I'm going to run through this. It's a little bit tedious. Sorry. Hopefully you learned something. Appearance, skin color. You get a 0 for blue or pale, 1 for body pink, extremities blue, and 2 for completely pink. Pulse, your heart rate, 0 for absent, 1 for below 100 beats per minute, 2 for over 100 beats per minute. Grimace, which is reflexes, basically. They talk about McKay does something to her and she grimaces. And they're like, oh, that's a good sign. So she's having reflexes. 0 is no response. 1 is a grimace or a feeble cry. And 2 is a sneeze, cough, or an active cry. Activity, which is muscle tone. 0 for limp, 1 for some flexion, and 2 for active motion. And R, respiration. 0 is absent, 1 is weak or irregular, and 2 is a strong cry. You want to hear that baby cry when they come out. When you are scoring, if you are scoring 7 to 10, that is reassuring. It's normal. Baby's in good condition, okay? 4 to 6 is moderately abnormal, so that could indicate they need some breathing support or some kind of stimulation, something like that. 0 to 3 is low, and that indicates a need for immediate resuscitation. You score the APGAR at 1 and 5 minute intervals. So 1 minute after baby's birth, you give an APGAR score, and then at the 5 minute mark, you give them another score to see if anything has changed. We love when people cry and actively move and cough.
Yes.
And are totally pink. Medicine, by the way, when we cut back over to mom, medicine to me is just fucking insane because, like, what do you mean? Multiple people can have their hands inside of me, and you can also just be shoving random items in my body.
No, the fact that they're just like shoving
lap pads,
essentially like napkins in this moment.
Like, oh, we spilled the soda. Quick. Yeah. Where's the brawny? Did we stock up on brawny?
Fill this bitch with paper towels.
It's just so funny the way that, like, it was calm at first, and then they start, like, guys, Dana got someone to cover for her. It's great. Also, what's extra great is that there are some passing police officers, so she yells at them, and she's like, take the fucking rape kits. One of them's been here for 2 weeks. She chews them out about doing their jobs properly. Love you, Dana.
What would we do without you, Dana?
And then because, again, I wrote the notes, but I, A, didn't know too much about birth, and B, ew, yuck, 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 ew. Then the following note is more Judith and baby stuffs. Camille, please save me.
So they get mom back. Baby girl starts crying. She wins a point for it. She has an APGAR of 8. And Robbie is about to start crying.
Yeah.
He is overwhelmed. And OB is finally here. Again, here's what I will say. I do wish that they would let OBGYNs shine. Most other specialties get their moments, but it's almost like a running gag. It feels like in shows that the OB is late and is like, what did I miss? And I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, like we always need someone else to deliver the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3, whatever pregnancy plotline you give us, because there always has to be one, because pregnancy is a medical horror show, please have the OBs there.
All of this, we find out, has happened in the span of 12 minutes. From when they called OB to when he arrived, 12 minutes. That's all it took. And Abbott says something about things moving fast down there. And Robbie exits, and muffled in the background, you can still hear the conversation from in the trauma room. And the OB says, you guys are rock stars. And Abbott says, we like to be referred to as crawlers of the night. Like, Abbott, shut the fuck up. That is so funny, though.
Abbott, congratulations on your first cringe moment out of 2 seasons. They had to give him a cringe moment.
The cringe moment last season was my therapist says I find comfort in the darkness.
He's always been cringe. He is cringe, but he is free, and he has dealt with his demons.
Yep.
He is cringe, he is free, he is sexy. Robbie de-gowns, and he's trying really, really hard not to cry. But Abbott is, like, clocking this shit 100%. And we find out that someone named Henny is coming to replace Dana in about 30 minutes. Robbie says he needs to find Whitaker, Dr. Al, and Langdon before he leaves. But then we find out that Langdon's already left.
Except psych!
Yeah, he hasn't. He's the Phantom of the Pit. So I thought it was interesting that Robbie has this tough conversation with Jack, and then he kind of makes amends with Javati, and then he sees this new life come into the world, and then he's like, okay, I gotta find Langdon, I gotta find Dr. Al, and I gotta find Whitaker. He's got like a list of people he needs to talk to. Not all for positive reasons, but he's looking for Langdon, which is a step. So Langdon has gone up to the surgical care unit to find out about the patient with the necrotizing fasciitis, and he finds out that she's alive, but she did have an amputation. They did amputate her leg, and he asked if it was below the knee, and they said no, it was above the knee. And I knew that, like, below the knee is better, but I didn't know why, so I did a little research. An amputation above the knee is just harder for the patient because moving takes a lot more energy for them, and there's a lot more rehab to be done, and it also makes prosthetics harder in the future. But if you think about it, like, if you didn't have a knee and you were trying to walk, even if you're not using that leg to do it, yeah, that does seem like it would take a lot more energy to move.
So you have to, like, because you would have to, like, swing your leg around almost more than anything.
But also, like, I gobsmacked that we got a new set. I did not anticipate seeing a new set.
I'm willing to bet they recorded in a hospital. Because that logistically sounds cheaper and faster to me than to build a set you're only going to have one scene in.
I wonder. I will try to find out. I will see if I can find out for us.
And then you can post about it on the PITT details, and people will be like, ugh, we don't want to know that. We want to make our theories because we watch Grey's Anatomy.
Oh my God. So also the subtitles in this scene said neck, N-E-C-K, neck fash. And I got so goddamn confused because I was like, I don't remember anybody with a neck injury.
Me too. I was like, we dealt with somebody's neck? Because initially I was like, okay, the guy that he, like, the spine thing.
The closed reduction.
Yes. I was like, what? How are we already ready to, like, check on that patient? Like, surely that guy is still getting taken care of or whatever. So yeah, that was my thought when I heard neck. So it like took me a while to like get my bearings and figure out who we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Robbie walks out into the ambulance bay with Whitaker. He gives him his phone number. He's giving him his building managers, just in case there are any problems. He wants Whitaker to follow up with Duke in a few days. Here comes Amy with the baby in her dead husband's truck.
This is so messy. I also want to say that baby looks like a fucking scarecrow with that hair. I'm sorry to that baby, but like that is
the arrow.
It's also like it's almost cute. It's almost cute. I'm like, this is if you don't watch this with the critical thinking part of your brain on, you're like, this is adorable. Like, I want this little family to work out, but then you're like, ah!
This is highly inappropriate and messy. Robbie looks so jealous, and then we're gonna find out in a little bit that like, oh, he's always wanted to have kids, so maybe he's looking like a life he could have had. And I'm like, is this a life we're assigning Whitaker? Are we assigning Whitaker this role? Like, who's to say?
Does anybody want to read my note?
Yeah, I'll read it. So Camille has so generously put in the notes, and I quote, Robbie is so jealous, he wants a baby so bad. Impreg universe, the pit, win.
None of those words are in the Bible.
None of those words are in the Bible.
My note, which I think is funnier and better, is play that funky music, white boy! Because, like, as Whitaker's about to drive off, he starts playing some funk, and I'm like...
Yeah, he's like, you want to get funky?
I didn't notice this, but Camille did, where apparently he's like tapping it 4 times to make it play, and it's like, okay, bro, chill out. You know how to use a phone.
He literally and it's weird because there's a play button and then there's another play button above it because like it's not really like they're playing music, but he literally like rapid fire taps play like 4 times, and I was like, bro, chill. What the fuck?
It's also so fucking domestic the way she like gets out of the driver's seat and goes to the passenger seat so that he can drive. I'm like, don't make me like this. Don't make me like this because I don't.
No, that scared me. I was like, oh no.
If Robbie wasn't there, I'm pretty sure they would have kissed. I'm like, there was some tension. There was like...
She was expecting a hug. You could tell when she got out. I also think like it's very concerning how she starts talking about how the baby has a new tooth and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm like,
boy.
Oh no. You are her boyfriend. That's boyfriend shit. You are co-parenting with this woman, Whitaker.
At the ripe old age of like 28 or however old he is as an R1.
I'm not gonna lie, I nearly cried laughing at the sight of this tiny man in this big old truck, because when it cuts and you can see like through the window, I swear to God, if he took a deep breath, he would be pressing his chest against the steering wheel because he is so far up.
Because he's small. He's just a little guy.
Robbie and Mohan have a time to talk. And he tells her that sometimes life can be challenging, especially if it doesn't work out the way you'd expected it to. And she really doesn't want to fucking hear it. She's done with this man. Honestly, me too, girly. Like, if I had had a day like this with this man, I'd be like, fuck off. Literally get out of my face. The only reason I'm talking to you right now is because you're my boss. Like, And Robbie tells her that he thought he would be married with 2 kids in college, with a pond out back and a house, and the pond would freeze over in the winter and they could play hockey on it.
Robbie wants to play Heated Rivalry so bad.
With that little twink intern of his. No, I'm painfully reminded that he is probably a Pens fan. Ugh. And she says that it's never too late. And he's like, do you really believe that? And she's like, yeah. And he says, only for me or also for you? I didn't understand this. What's he getting at?
She's like, oh, change can happen no matter what. And it'll be fine. And he's like, oh, so change can happen and it'll be fine, but only if it's for me, what about you? And she's like, I see what you did there. I don't like that you used my logic against me to help me process how everything in my life has changed drastically within the past 15 hours.
I think he's just trying to get her to admit that, it's not too late for her to change her plans or to fix things or to do something entirely different. Like, it's easy to tell someone else that like, oh, you're going to be fine. But like when it's your own life, you're like, my life is over. Everything sucks.
I was just confused because I kept trying to apply it to like her finding a fellowship. And I was like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? This analogy doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No.
So I was confused. Okay, got it. Now, she says that she's not talking with her mom, but she apologizes for the fact that it distracted her. She says that her mom was treating her like a child and she was letting her. And then kind of got a little choked up personally. She said, I was like, please don't let this be her last line. Please don't let this be her last line. She says, have a good trip. Please be safe. We need you here, even if you can be a dick sometimes. And then as he goes to walk back in, she says, good luck.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Robbie is walking in. He runs into Dr. Al. She says that she has been with the on-call neurologist, and the neurologist says that she can clear her to work so long as she has another attending with her on the shift.
So was that her grand plan? Like when she was like, I'm going to recommend that this department have 2 attendings? Is it because she knows that she can't be trusted to work alone?
Potentially, but I also think that, like, they do need 2 attendings.
No, I mean, it is the correct move, but also is it because she knows her own limitations?
Robbie points out that if she has a seizure while taking care of a patient during a critical serious procedure, the patient could die. Robbie really doesn't think she can handle working in the emergency department, and she blows up at him, claiming that isn't his call.
To be fair, though, he raises his voice at her first. She shouts, but he does raise his voice first, and he's also being hella condescending.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has no respect for her in this moment.
This is unfortunately another instance of I agree with what Robbie's saying, but the way he's saying it is so shitty. I really hate that this happens to Dr. Alashimi. It kind of feels like, originally in the notes I wrote, like, oh, it's like we beat the villain kind of shit, and the villain is a competent woman who just wants to do her job. No, you know what's a better fucking analogy? Dr. Alashimi right now is getting the boyfriend from New York treatment in every Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Explain.
You know, like the main character in the Hallmark movie will go to fucking Christmas Town and fall in love with a guy who like paints Christmas trees or whatever and throws away her whole 5-year relationship.
Yeah, she's been in love with the career man in New York,
and the career man's only fault was I was doing my job to make money for us to have a great life. We spend time together, whatever. Dr. Hashimi's only crime is that she does her job. She has this thing that's affecting her, sure, unfortunately, but there are ways to like help her with it. And Robbie's just throwing her out.
Kind of like with Langdon.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. It's interesting to me that Robbie cannot see people separate from their problems, except for himself. He's like, oh, I'm fucked up, but I can compartmentalize at work. And I'm like, what, nobody else can?
No.
We hear her, yell at her and be like, oh, you always say my department, my patients, all you fucking think about is yourself. Go off, queen.
Yeah, no, she points out that he says, my department, my patients. She's like, you're literally only ever thinking about yourself, which I love that. And Robbie tells her she has until Monday to disclose her condition or he will. Manipulative as fuck, though, because he is giving this ultimatum as he is opening the door so everybody else can hear him. And now everybody else is going to be like, tell him what?
What is the condition?
Mm-hmm.
Because listen, I'm a nosy bitch, and if I heard that, I would be like, so what's happening? What's going on?
Exactly. Thank God Princess and Perla are not in the area. Also, you can hear their argument through the door, and she yells about Langdon stealing drugs, and I was like, well, that one's out of the bag now.
Yeah.
Like, come on. If nobody knows by next season, I'm going to call bullshit because I'm sure somebody heard her say that. So McKay and Mohan ring the bell to signify that they are done with their charting. And Mel runs up and says, is this a thing? And rings it, even though she finished a while ago.
And then Santos grabs it and lobs it in the fucking trash where it belongs. And I dug it out, so.
Oh my God. Oh my God, wait, that's actually funny. Listeners, that's not a sound effect. Robert actually has a bell.
I dug it out. We can use it whenever we're right.
It's now the we're right bell.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I love this. A bunch of the day shift has headed up to the roof to watch fireworks. Abbott confronts Robbie about where he's going. He says that the only place that he's going to is somewhere that they used to drive buffalo off of a cliff to die, which we talked about in episode 1. And Abbott says he Googled it.
My favorite line is where he's like, I mean, like, what's the appeal of this place, man? I mean, what's in the fucking gift shop?
Hopefully, a really nice knife for Garcia. She better get her fucking knife.
And maybe an antidepressant.
Yes, that would be good.
Abbott says that he's dealt with his demons, and Robbie gives him a look, and he says, it's a process.
Well, yeah, he's doing far more than Robbie. This man at least has a therapist.
I thought it was wildly symbolic. The fact that they then walk into a trauma room and have this conversation standing in the middle of a trauma room where they would be working on a patient. I thought that was crazy. I loved it.
Trauma in the trauma room.
Finally, canon confirmed. Abbott's wife is dead.
And he misses her, so any of you sick fucks who want him to fuck Mohan, I mean, I agree with you, but still.
He can miss his dead wife and also be with someone
Get freaky. Oh, yeah. I want to tell you guys, their ship name is Mohabbat.
Yeah.
And two people in my comment section today said that Mohabbat in Urdu means love.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't that insane? Robbie says that he's not convinced that a part of you doesn't die every time that you see a fellow human pass. And Abbott tells him to go on a cruise, man. And I was like, why? So that he can jump overboard and never be found? I listened to too much true crime. Do not put that man on a boat.
It's like he was trying to think of like a happy vacation. And I was like,
Knowing Robbie's luck, it would end up being poop cruise, or somebody would be murdered, or somebody would go overboard, or.
Yeah.
So we also find out that Abbott knows that he rides without a helmet because people talk. And I am so relieved because episode 1, he, remember, illegally passes an ambulance without a helmet and waves at the drivers. And I was like, okay, you're telling me that those EMTs headed to the hospital aren't saying shit to anyone about the fact that he's not wearing a helmet?
And that he is illegally passing an ambulance.
Camille, so you're saying you had a theory and your theory was confirmed and you were right.
Yes, we do the honors.
Yay!
And Robbie says, am I fucked up? And Abbott says, 100%.
We all are.
Sometimes you just need that honesty.
They have this really long talk, and, you know, the final thought here, the thing that Abbott says is, Robbie, don't kill yourself. You're so sexy.
Yeah, essentially. No, I love the, like, did you just make that up? I don't know. Maybe my therapist said it. Maybe it's a song lyric. This conversation is so funny.
But the actual last line before Abbott has to attend to this guy who apparently shot off half his face. We don't get any confirmation or like names or anything, which I'm kind of happy with, honestly. But the last line is like, remember, I'm your emergency contact and I do not want to be contacted.
And he's real for that because, like, I hate to answer the phone. So, like, if I am your emergency contact, please God, do not make them call me. Because I'm going to hate every second.
Night shift out here with the solid one-liners. We have this one. We have Ellis's, shut up, this isn't a conversation, it's a monologue.
I kind of would like to see the patient who blew off half his face. I feel like that would be the kind of thing that I'm like, yuck, 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 ew, yuck, but also like can't tear my eyes away from.
I kind of like we don't see it. Like, I kind of, when Robbie is looking from Central into that room to see like what's happening, we're kind of, at least how I interpreted, we're kind of back in the Robbie POV from season 1. We're following him again.
It was very much, to me, like we have to disconnect at some point. At some point, we have to stop getting info on the patients coming in or we will never leave.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we are in Robbie's shoes in that he has to stop being briefed on these patients because he has to leave and it's none of his business. Dr. Al walks out to her car to leave. She gets in her car. She has a moment where she's just kind of sitting there before she turns the car on. And I loved how quiet it was. I love I don't know about y'all, there's something so soothing about that like thud of the door close and then the quiet in a car.
Wouldn't know, I don't have a car.
And you can finally like take a breath. It's like when you get into an Uber or whatever and you close the door and it's finally just quiet. You're like,
okay. No, because I get into an Uber and I'm with a stranger, usually a strange man. And I'm like, I hope this person is going to actually take me home. I'm sorry. I'm being like contrarian here.
Ruining the moment. Yeah. Now, she goes to leave and then she stops in the middle of the parking lot and she starts crying.
Yeah.
Because it's like, she's had a horrible fucking day.
Yeah.
A really bad day. And Robert, your take was that like, maybe Robbie's right. She's thinking about the fact that Robbie could be right, but also maybe he's wrong. And also he's just like been shitty on top of all of that. And my note was, not everything is about you, Robbie. Like, This has been an awful day for her. She had this new exciting job, but then her coworker treated her like shit all day long. She's having seizures again for the first time in well over a year. She had 2.
Yeah.
Like, that fucking sucks. That's awful. Everything that she had in her little boxes, everything was going right.
Right.
Everything was going right. But I also had this moment of thinking, and I'm sure other audience members had the same thought as me. I thought she was gonna crash, but I like the way this show is like, bitch, why would we do that? Don't think so little of us. We're not gonna do that.
Especially with like 5 minutes left in the episode.
It would be very dramatic, a very dramatic ending. But like, yeah, I'm glad that they didn't.
We finally found out what happened to Digby. He left the hospital. He has Whitaker's badge, and he took the mannequin with him. Godspeed, friend. May you and this mannequin have a good and fruitful life. I
also love that he's explaining like the chemistry of fireworks to this mannequin. I'm obsessed with that. Did you ever in high school chemistry have to do like the experiment where you like put stuff in the fire and you watch them burn different colors?
Oh yeah.
No? Yeah. That I loved that. But yeah, you can tell what a chemical is by what color it burns.
I feel vindicated because when we talked about how yeah, when we talked about how Digby, his family live in his home and he doesn't, I said, but we don't know why that is. He could be abusive, whatever. And we find out here he has some psychological issues. Something is going on.
It does appear that way, yes.
And that can be really difficult for someone to, you cannot force someone to get help.
Right.
And maybe they have tried, right? But there comes a point where for your safety, especially consider maybe his daughter has children, right? So for their safety, it's best to not have him there. And it doesn't mean they like kicked him out on the streets and they were like, ah, fuck you. But he did just leave the hospital and steal a doctor's badge and a mannequin. So
yeah.
But like also he's still a darling, but
yeah, it does make me wonder if, because like he was obviously being cared for in the hospital. It almost makes me wonder if like maybe his family was caring for him or something and like he left.
Yeah.
And maybe he refuses to go back. Like maybe
they don't know where he is.
Yeah, because he also was very concerned about them being able to find him. Like maybe they don't know where he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also possible. Like we truly don't know why his family is living in his house and he is not.
I would not mind a continuation to Digby's story in season 3. Just like we had a continuation of Louis' story from season 1 into season 2.
I mean, I hope it doesn't end with him dying.
The day shift are up on the roof watching fireworks. And this, I think, was the moment of the episode that really made me the most emotional, was seeing Perla's reaction to the fireworks. And is it a Robert Frost quote? Something about, this is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but a whimper. Is that Robert Frost?
T.S. Eliot.
It made me think of that quote because obviously there are really, really beautiful things that we love about America. But then you have a brown Muslim woman who has just watched her white coworker arrested by ICE and violence committed against a brown woman, another brown woman. And so just that like raw, that struggle of like we all say like, fuck America. Like for me though, I sit here and I'm like, I fucking love America, but like, I hate it so much. What the fuck? It's that emotion of like, I mean, I honestly, there's a great chance that I will cry looking at fireworks this year because it's a beautiful display and it's just like this really joyous holiday where you spend it with your family and grill out and all this kind of shit. But it's like, what are we celebrating right now?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Horrors and atrocities.
Also, I fucking love fireworks. They used to scare the shit out of me, but I've said it on this podcast before. It probably got cut. I love the thump of a firework. I loved it if I'm like laying on the ground watching fireworks. I could feel it in my body.
Oh, I love a firework. I love fire. I love exploding stuff. Hell yeah. Like, if I go to a restaurant and there's a candle on the table, that candle is in my hand and I am playing with it.
Jesus Christ.
Like, I have friends who literally have started having to take the candles away from me at the table because I just, like, sit there and I swirl the wax around.
Mal, how do you feel about Santos being a beer lesbian?
Very important to me.
I'm censoring that. That's your horny thought.
No. No, that wasn't horny enough.
Nope, sorry. You're not out here thinking about your horny. Nope, I'm sorry. If you're not going to use one will be used for you.
Sorry that I have decorum, Robert. Not quite as horny as you.
I wish everyone had seen that head bobble. Decorum, Robert. So Robbie runs into Langdon, and they finally have the talk, the birds and the bees. Langdon says he's doing the work, he's sober, he's been going to meetings, he's taking the drug tests, and that Robbie is still riding him. He will not let up. And he says, what would have happened if I had paralyzed that guy? And Robbie's like, I don't know.
Well, what would have happened if I wasn't here to teach you? And Langdon's like, don't give me that shit, dude. And I'm like, oh, they're not friends anymore from both sides. Like, Langdon, I think, has given up on any attempt to, like, try and rekindle whatever there was with Robbie.
Yeah.
He has spent 14 fucking hours trying everything to be better and to speak to Robbie. And he's got to the point where he's like, fuck it. I said what I had to say on the helipad. He didn't want to hear it. Yeah, but I also was so pissed. The way that Robbie takes credit for Langdon's good work. He's like, what would you have done if I hadn't been here? And I'm like, oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
He would have been fine. He's a good
He was
doctor.
fine under everybody else. It was you that was fucking him up.
Arguably, he would have been better.
Like, the one line, the one good moment you had with him was doctor the fuck up.
Yep.
That's it. That's the one moment you had with him all day. Everybody else has done great with him. Langdon calls Robbie out for refusing to get help, and he says the mighty Dr. Rabinovich isn't perfect. Ooh. And then he says, Robbie's like, well, I never claimed to be perfect. And he's like, yeah, but you hold yourself to that expectation. So how could we ever meet your expectations? Fair. And Langdon says, you don't got to be honest with me, man, but you got to be honest with yourself.
Oh, and sometimes that's the hardest part.
And that's it. Bye, Langdon. You're off too. Everyone's like, God, I love, like our friend Alyssa, for example, has had theories about like, oh, he's sticking around these extra hours instead of rushing to go home on a holiday. And it's like, his relationship with his wife and kids are rocky, but they're probably fine. He's just staying around to help. There's no extra meaning. Like all the theories we had.
This is his first day back. Of course, he's going to put in extra.
Yeah.
So Robbie goes into peds to relieve Nurse Tim because Baby Jane Doe has started crying, and he starts comforting Baby Jane Doe, asks Tim to turn the lights off, and he starts playing the song 1000 by Rosie Carney. I am kind of obsessed when he's holding Baby Jane Doe with the way that she is straight up staring at the crew.
Yeah.
Dead ass. This baby is like, look at all these people. Like, that is not a 1,000-yard stare. That is an I am looking directly at someone or something in this moment.
No, and like, this is a cute baby. This is
an adorable baby. Not a great actress, but, or actor, or I don't know.
One of her first roles. Let her make a couple mistakes.
If this is an actor playing Baby Jane Doe, he's doing a great job.
Also, worst swaddling ever. He's like, oh, do you need to be swaddled? And then does not swaddle.
No, that's why Robbie cannot take this baby home. He doesn't know shit about swaddling.
Swaddling, part of the comfort of swaddling is the fact that it's really tight and snug, and it reminds that baby
and it's like
of
being
like
in the womb.
Exactly. So that's where that comfort comes from. Robbie tells Baby Jane Doe that he was also abandoned at 8 years old, but he is sure that she is going to have a great life filled with love, and she has so many wonderful things to see and people to love.
He says it twice, and the first time is for Baby Jane Doe, and I'm interpreting that the second time is for himself. It's him talking himself out of killing himself.
Yeah. Because there's so many wonderful things to see and people to love.
If any middle-aged white man is going to do anything, it is going to put the burden of his mental well-being and not killing himself on the shoulders of a tiny daughter. Congratulations, Robbie. You are still exactly as I expected you to be.
No, I was worried when Dana was like, hey, do you know anyone who'd be interested in kinship adoption? I was like, Robbie, do not take this baby. Oh my God. And then he was like, I thought I'd have 2 kids by now. I was like, fuck, no.
She's falling asleep on his shoulder. But I mean, as a pet owner, it's a reflex at this point. She has her face tucked into his shoulder, so you can't actually see her face. But I went, big yawn when I was watching it. Because she yawns. You can tell that she's yawning. And I was like, oh, that's a big yawn.
Big yawn for a little baby.
And then when she falls asleep on his shoulder, she's snoring.
Mhm.
You can just kind of hear her snoring. And I was like, he's adopting this baby, isn't he?
They did this exact same thing with Barney from How I Met Your Mother, where they built up his character and then they fucked it up, and then they're like, you know what? Let's make this Playboy misogynist character not become a Playboy misogynist anymore because he has to take care of a daughter. And if the resolution for Noah Wiley's character, you know, of Robbie being like, I'm no longer going to be suicidal and shitty because now I have a daughter, I'm like, that feels a little forced.
Well, and like, okay, a child is not a child does not fix things. In many situations, a child makes things harder.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that like you shouldn't have a child, but that means that you have to be like prepared for that. And I think at this point, Robbie is not prepared for that. Like
I am okay with this being the thing that puts Robbie onto preparing for it.
If this man, like, I need this man to, if he chooses to use this to, like, seek help for himself actively, like, he gets serious about finding a therapist, and he gets serious about, like, actually trying to better himself and heal and all the things, like, this could be good. Unfortunately, is he going?
Your application for an emotional support baby is denied.
Like, I need him to go to therapy first to show me that he's trying to fix himself.
If this is the catalyst for him getting better and preparing himself to adopt a child, I'm fine with that. I don't want him in this moment adopting this child. That's what I was saying.
Yes.
But if this is the catalyst for him to go, let me get my life in order so that I can be a father, I'm fine with that.
Yes.
Just not this baby.
He needs to do the work first because no one should look at that man and decide he needs to take a baby home. Absolutely not.
That's it. There's nothing else. Straight into the credits and nothing happens.
Wrong. The most important scene of the season happens after this. Number one, very important to me that Santos apparently brought a cute going out top to her to work. Because this is a different outfit than she was wearing. She was not wearing this on the roof, which, by the way, but she's got this cute little red top on. I'm like, oh, she absolutely bought that. She brought that to see the fireworks with Garcia. Damn. And now she's using it for karaoke with Mel. And this scene brought me so much joy. I love these two, and I ship it. And I need the people to send me fanfic recs expeditiously.
Santos and Mel karaoke.
I loved Santos pulling the hair tie out of Mel's hair.
Yes.
So that she could hair flip.
Yes. Incredible. I honestly think that this friendship could be good for both of them. Like, I want to see this develop. Like, I think Mel needs more friends. I think potentially it could give Trinity a little bit of...
Ooh, Trinity.
Yeah, she and I are on a first name basis now. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, you're good. Your good friend Trinity Santos.
My good personal friend Trinity Santos. Like, it could, I don't want to say like empathy because she has a lot of empathy, but like she could become more aware of how her words affect people by like talking, like spending more time with Mel. And like I don't know. I want to see more of them. Especially if Whittaker truly is moving out, because like we're really not sure, because he said he could check on Robbie's stuff and still live with her, but we don't know if that's what he's doing.
This fucking song, wasn't this written about one of the fucking uncles from Full House?
Is it?
You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette.
To remind you of the mess you left when you went away.
Listeners, you should pay attention to our socials because Mal and I, the day this is coming out, we're doing karaoke, so we might do this together.
Yes, and I will be taking Robert's braid out and letting them just hair flip away.
Full House's Uncle Joey is rumored to be the subject of, yeah.
Maybe I'll do the fun, like, movie makeover thing where, like, I make you remove your glasses and we realize you've been hot this whole time, Robert.
Oh my god. One more thing I do want to say is that I loved the like Bridgerton cover of the song for season 2. You saw it, Mal.
Yes, you made me watch season 2 of Bridgerton. Only season of Bridgerton I've seen, by the way. FYI. I will be watching the lesbian one, though. I don't know if you would have guessed that by the everything about me.
Any final thoughts on the season?
Patient passport moments?
Oh my god, yeah.
Do we want to do Patient Passport for the episode and then Patient Passport for the whole season?
We should do Patient Passport for the season in an overarching episode.
Yes.
That's a good idea. So Patient Passport moment for this episode for me has to be Whitaker playing his funk, and I'm like, hell yeah, play that funky music, white boy.
Play that funky music, white boy. God. I mean, it feels too easy. Karaoke. It was everything. I loved it.
And Camille's Patient Passport moment is when we almost saw the Langdon.
No! My Patient Passport moment has got to be just every nightcrawler, every moment that Jack was like trying to make Nightcrawler happen. I loved it. I love him.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on this episode?
So actually my horny thought is going to be a revision of my horny thought from earlier this season. So earlier this season, I said that I wanted Garcia and Santos to make me a sandwich.
Not like women get in the kitchen and
not
make
like
me a
women
sandwich.
be in the kitchen. Like I would like.
Oh my god.
They are the. So I actually would like to kick Garcia out of my sandwich, and I would like. And I would like for us to have all the women that I think are fun and hot. And this is just me preparing for all the Trin Mel fanfic I'm about to read.
You know what we have to do before we end the episode, right?
No.
We all finished our charting, as it were. Everyone ring the bell.
Whee!
Yay, we finished our charting. We get to go home. We get to take a couple weeks off.
Woo!
We will come back and we'll have like a recap episode and talk about final thoughts and all that kind of thing. I kind of want to like rewatch the whole season without having to wait between them and without the pressure of like having to take notes or anything.
Yeah.
And we'll come back and talk about that and how we feel about the season and all that kind of stuff. And we'll give Patient Passport moments for the whole season. And yeah, maybe we'll play some trivia. Ooh, that would be fun. Season 2 trivia. But if that's all, so long, fellow losers. The Pit Crew podcast is created and produced by us, Robert, Mal, and Camille. It's edited by Robert. You can find us on TikTok, Threads, and Instagram at Pit Crew Podcast. If you'd like to support our other projects, our socials are linked in the show notes. Our art is by Rand Pacoka. He can be found on Instagram at Rand Pacoka. All patient questions and concerns can be emailed to pittcrewpodcast@gmail.com. And this isn't a Taco Bell, but we do appreciate a 5-star rating and a review wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to schedule a follow-up appointment with a nurse before you go. See you next time.